What's up guys, my name's Brandon and today we're going to be talking about some amazing new features coming in iOS 13. We're going to be talking about the 2019 and the 2020 iPhones and also the 2019 iPads. Now if you guys missed my latest iOS 13 leaks and rumors video, I will have that linked up in the cards and down in the description below, along with my latest leaks and rumors video on the AirPods 2 and the 2019 iPhones. But anyways, let's get into today's news, and today's news comes courtesy of none other than Mark Gurman and Bloomberg. And what makes this news so exciting is that Mark Gurman and pretty much anything that Bloomberg puts out related to Apple ends up coming true. It's almost always extremely accurate. So that's why everything we talk about in this video, you can pretty much count on it actually happening later this year and also into 2020 when we talk about the 2020 iPhones. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I know you saw it in the title. Let's talk about the big iOS 13 feature coming, and that of course is none other than dark mode. So according to Bloomberg, Apple's next generation system update iOS 13 will include a dark mode option for easier nighttime viewing and improvements to CarPlay, the company's in-vehicle software. So yes, after many years of pretty much begging Apple to put a dark mode into iOS, I mean this is going back so many years. I think like iOS 9, iOS 8, maybe even iOS 7 days, we talked about a dark mode potentially coming to iOS, and we've been begging really ever since then. So many years now. A lot of people thought it was eventually going to happen last year with iOS 12, but of course we only got the smart invert feature, which is kind of just like not a real dark mode, but kind of just to hold us over. I really think that smart invert was kind of just a sneaky way for Apple to hold us over for dark mode, kind of like a precursor to actual dark mode. And of course, as you guys know, I've expressed it in many videos, I am not a fan of smart invert at all. It's not a real dark mode. So I hope in iOS 13 we get a real dark mode, something that's like the jailbreak tweaks that we've had for a long time now, many years now. So if it's not just like those jailbreak tweaks or even better, it's safe to say that I and pretty much everybody else is going to be pretty disappointed. I mean, at this point, it's going to be hard to be disappointed in general just because we're finally getting a dark mode. But I feel like at this point also that there's just so much riding on it that it needs to be perfect. Apple needs to perfect this dark mode for everybody to love it. So yeah, I cannot wait for the first beta of iOS 13 to come out at WWDC later on this year, just in a few months really. And hopefully we do get that dark mode in the very first beta, but it's possible we could be waiting until maybe the second or third beta as well. So we'll have to wait and see. You guys know I will be covering all of the betas here on the channel. And also I do hope that iOS 13 does something about the volume HUD. It's only right. I mean, we're finally getting dark mode after all these years. Why don't we change up the volume HUD as well after all these years of people begging for that to change as well? And I feel like that's something that's not really completely out of the question, because something so minimal like that, like changing the volume HUD, isn't really going to make it into a Bloomberg report. That's something very minor in the grand scheme of things. It's not really a huge feature. It's more of just a change. So I think it's possible that it could happen in iOS 13. We've been asking for it for so long that I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, it's Apple and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't change the volume HUD as well. So yeah, that is pretty much everything related to iOS 13 that was talked about in this report. So now let's move on to the 2019 and the 2020 iPhones. And first of all, let's discuss the title of this whole report, and that is Apple is planning 3D cameras for new iPhones and AR push. And if you guys have been watching my content for the past couple months or so, you would know that we already discussed this feature possibly coming to iPhones a while back. We know that Apple is really interested in 3D and making an AR push with the iPhones, but according to this report, it's looking like it was tested for the 2019 iPhones, but it's actually going to get delayed until at least 2020. And I say at least 2020, but the reality is it's probably going to happen in 2020. And then Bloomberg goes on to say, for 2019, Apple plans successors to the iPhone XS and XS Max, codenamed D42 and D43, and an update to the iPhone XR. The larger of the new high-end iPhones will have 3 cameras on the back, and other handsets could eventually come with the upgraded system too. So it's looking like the 2019 iPhones are going to look pretty much identical to the 2018 iPhones, aside from, of course, the biggest model, which is going to be like the XS Plus. Whatever that is in 2019, that's going to be the one with the triple camera setup, and then the others are just probably going to stick with the same dual camera setup that we saw in 2018. And honestly, that news is kind of disappointing because 2018 was an S year. I mean, I know we got the iPhone XR, that was something new, but still, it was an S year. It was XS and XS Max. I mean, usually after an S year, we get a big change to the iPhone, something big in the design, not just an added camera to just the Plus model. So kind of disappointing to see that, but of course there are big plans for the 2020 iPhones. Now another little tidbit is that the 2019 iPhones will enhance live photos, which of course is, when you press in on the picture and that gives you a before the shot and after the shot little short video. According to this report, the new version will double the length of the video from 3 seconds to 6 seconds. And then we also get confirmation that Apple is in fact testing out USB-C on some versions of the 2019 iPhone. So we don't know for sure if Apple is actually going to ditch the Lightning port in 2019 and use USB-C because they are still testing this out, but I would imagine by 2020 at the latest is when we will have USB-C on the iPhones. I think that 2020 is just gonna be such a massive year for iPhones. A lot of big, massive changes to the iPhone. And then lastly, we do have more confirmation that new iPads are coming very soon. So you can see here it says Apple plans to release an updated version of its lower cost iPad with a roughly 10-inch screen and a faster processor as early as this spring. Apple is also readying a new, cheaper iPad mini, its smallest tablet that hasn't been updated since 2015. And once again, if you guys have been watching my videos, you already know that both of these things are coming. My prediction is March, we will see a new iPad mini as well as the budget iPad, the 10-inch iPad coming in March. That's my prediction. We don't know for sure, but that's just my guess. And along with those two iPads, we could potentially be seeing the AirPods 2 and also AirPower at that same event. So yeah, 2019 will be a very exciting year. I actually think I'm looking more forward to iOS 13 than the new iPhones because based on this report, the new iPhones aren't really going to be anything too special, at least not until 2020. So I think 2019 is going to be the year to be excited about software versus hardware. I think iOS 13 is going to be awesome. But anyways, guys, there you have it. I did want to get this video up for you guys last night when the report broke and I posted it on Twitter and things like that, but I was facing technical difficulties here in the studio, so I apologize for that. I am getting this up a little bit late, but I figured it's such big news that I still wanted to upload it. Just better late than never. So yeah, I hope you guys did still enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe for a lot more leaks and rumors videos coming in the future. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching and I'll see you soon.